person that gets the podcast going every single time, Mr. Bruce Leeroy, Alex Caceres himself, versus Juicy J, Julian Erosa.
Dude, when they announced this fight, I was like, this is a must-watch, cannot miss fight. The stylistic matchup is so good. Both these guys are great guys. I love both of them. And I was like, I just want Bruce Leroy to win. I really like Julian Erosa. It's hard to root against him. He's fighting maybe one of the only guys that he could get matched up against where I'd root against him. I was like, if he wins, I'll be happy for him. But I would really like to see Bruce Leroy get this done. Bruce Leroy, man, he has put it together lately.
He really has.
Outside of the loss against Sadiq Youssef, which was very close, he put together Steven Peterson, Chase Hooper, Austin Springer, Kevin Kroom, Sungwoo Choi. Like, it's a good run, man. He got ranked.
Heck yeah.
And now he's fighting Erosa, who's like on the fringe of getting in the top 15, I think. I'm not looking at the rankings, but I mean, it's awesome. And then so to see him have this success later in his career, because I mean he got started in the UFC early, man. He was on Ultimate Fighter. Like, what season was that? It was a long time ago. And I think, was it GSP versus Koscheck? Was that season?
Oh, I have no idea, man. It's been so long.
I feel like he was on Team GSP, which obviously in that situation, could you imagine getting picked by Koscheck? You'd be like, shit. but yeah, seeing him put it together is really cool. So I was really looking forward to this fight, and it delivered.
Dude, and Bruce Leroy is another one of those guys that kind of has that karate stance, the wide leg stance that we were talking about, right? And he does such a good job right off the bat managing the distance. He mixes in his leg kicks really, really well.
He gets in and out really well.
Yeah, he does. And between the changing his stance repeatedly, and then mixing his strikes, like this is an overhand right, because there's a couple straights that didn't get through. Oh yeah, sorry, left. But he hit him with an overhand right a couple times too.
Yeah,
and
he threw
so
it
like
funky too. And I was like,
yeah, he did. Yeah, it was like really, really overhand.
Yeah,
like really.
Well, you know why? Because
explain.
So he throws it wild like that, or wide like that, I should say, because it can either get over the guard of Erosa, or if Erosa doesn't want to just block it, if he wants to slip it, he misses, overextends, and it turns his hips for him. So now his hips are turned, and all he has to do is flick the leg up. And it was beautiful.
We saw.
It was beautiful. It reminded me of, speaking of GSP, it reminded me of what Carlos Condit caught him with, where he swings and misses, ducks out of it, and then the leg just comes right up over the shoulder. This is a little bit different because Erosa's stance was not the same as GSP's in that situation, but I mean, it was just beautiful. It was so good.
Yeah, and I started thinking right away about like the Usman fight.
Yeah, very similar too.
We're similar, but where there was a jab that was kind of feinted and the kick comes up at the same time.
Yeah, Whitaker does a lot too.
Yeah, because like you said, Caceres goes all the way in, misses.
Yeah.
Essentially, his body's completely turned, raises his leg. And the fact that he was able to generate that much power in that position was super impressive, man.
Dude, it looked like, because he throws his knee up first, and then the rest of his leg, like his shin to ankle, shoots out. And that shoot out is what carries the momentum again. But just like, I mean, if he threw that high kick, Dominic Cruz was talking about how the left high kick was there. But if you just throw it from your rear leg position, that travel time, I mean, it's not like, I mean, there's very few guys who could throw a rear leg roundhouse and have it not be telegraphed, or at least see it coming, right? Like Edson Barboza is probably like one of the few guys that can throw it quick enough, because you'll see the hips turn and it's like, okay, cool, the kick's coming. But because he was able to throw that left and throw it through and follow through with it to turn his hips, it looked like he was just going to end up in the orthodox stance and probably retreat. But instead, because they were so close, I mean, instead he just throws that leg up. It was so beautiful. He just flicked it. And it's the shots you don't see coming, right? Kind of like Wonder Boy versus Dan Stidgen. Did you ever see that? I think it was Wonder Boy's debut.
I did not.
Where it's a little different because he throws it's like a 2-punch combo to close the distance, and then he throws the leg up over the shoulder. But it's because the punch sets up the kick. There's some guys, they'll say, like, you got to set that up with punches. And sometimes that's to get the guy to either retreat to get into kicking range, or just to shell up so they're stationary so you can throw the kick, or just so that like they don't see it coming, right? But there's another way to set up the kick with punches, and that's this, where you literally get into position to kick from the punch, and you just flick it up like that. It was so beautiful. And Herb Dean, I think it was Herb Dean, right, in this one? Fantastic stoppage.
Let me see here.
I think it was Herb Dean. Yeah, it was.
Yes, it was Herb Dean.
Yeah.
My guy. Rich coming through.
Rich the not so casual.
Yeah.
But at first I was like, ooh, maybe not. Maybe Erosa was still there. But then the aftermath was kind of scary, honestly.
Yeah, and props to Caceres, because he was extremely accurate with the very first shot that landed. The very first shot that he threw, I should say, that landed. And after that, it was over, because he wasn't completely out, but you could see like he just wasn't able to intelligently defend himself anymore.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah, really good stoppage. Really good stoppage too.
And you see at the end, he's trying to get up, and they're like, no, don't get up, don't get. He's like, no, I'm fine. And he drops to a knee, and then gets back up, and it's like, ooh. He's walking over his corner, drops to a knee again. And it's like, dude, just please sit down. Just sit down, please.
Just chill for a little bit.
Because Erosa, I really like Erosa, man. I don't want to see him in a situation like that. But I mean, Bruce Leeroy, just what a beautiful performance. It was so good. And then his interview at the end was just amazing. That quote he had about courage and doing the right thing, like courage and honor. So it's hard to have courage all the time. So as long as you're honorable, at least you're doing the right thing. I was like, damn.
I know, man. He was so deep. What was it that he said specifically when he was like, I just discovered that, or something like that. And he's like, one today, and he goes, every day.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Awesome. I love him, man. I think he's so good for the sport,
awesome.
Dude. Yeah,
for sure.
I'm glad he's getting the success that he's getting lately.
And story of the fight alone, so
yeah. I mean, what a cool. If you go back on our channel, go to the playlist, check out the Bruce Leeroy interview, because he tells the story about him doing the street fights before becoming a professional fighter, where he's doing the Data 5000 backyard fights in Miami, and against Chocolate, and there are people waving money around him and stuff. And, yeah, amazing. And
that's how he got started. Think about it. And now landing head kicks on Julian Erosa.
I mean,
in the USA.
And he just opened up his own gym. So shout out that. Just a cool guy. I'm glad he's getting the success that he's had. I mean, he seems like a guy who, even after losses, you watch his interviews and stuff, he seems pretty content. Like, he doesn't really like put too much on the results of the fight. If he loses, he loses. He seems like he's in a good place even after losses. But I still like to see him have the success. You know what I mean?
And so honest too, man. Where he's like, you seem so calm in there.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was scared.
Yeah.
I just I fucking love this guy, man.
And remember he he told us too. He was like, sometimes you fight a guy who they're like putting so much into their punches that like it scares you, because you're like, because he's getting so angry and he's throwing his punches, like, is he gonna hit harder than me? And like you start questioning yourself and like, should I be doing that? But like, no, you got to stay composed, because like there was no anger involved with that kick. It was just pure technique, beautiful, and yeah, I mean, just a cool guy, really cool guy.
Love it. Love to see it, man.
Yeah.
Just a gem of a human being.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, Romero and Will here. Thank you so much for watching that short clip. It's just a small clip of what we covered this last Sunday.
Yeah, if you want to check out the full fight card recap, the link is in the description, and it's going to be on screen at the end here. Don't forget to go back and watch our fighter interviews that we have. And don't forget to tune in live every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and you can join in on the fun.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It goes a long way. All right, everybody, thanks for watching that short clip from Story of the Fight.